For months, the Premier League has watched Manchester United defend without one of their most important organizer at the back. And while United have survived with a mix of De Ligt, Yoro, Maguire, and Shaw covering different roles, you can see, both in the numbers and in the performances, what's been missing since Lisandro Martinez went down injured. Under Amorim this season, United's defense hasn't been bad. De Ligt has won over 70% of his aerial duels. Shaw's covering and passing accuracy remains above 90%. Maguire has produced crucial blocks in key games. Even Yoro, when moved to center back, has helped United progress the ball on his stronger days. But none of them replicate what Martinez gives this team on a consistent basis. When Martinez is fit, United's entire structure looks different. Last season, before the recurring injuries, he averaged more progressive passes per 90 than any defender in the squad. His left-footed distribution opened angles no one else in the backline naturally offers. United's win percentage with him was significantly higher, and the team conceded fewer shots per game when he was on the pitch. Even simple things, line-breaking passes, defensive switches, and the calmness to play under pressure dropped noticeably once he was sidelined. And it isn't just the statistics. You can feel the difference. With Martinez, United build from the back with confidence. Without him, everything looks a little more forced. Slower, more predictable. Scroll through fan reactions and you see why there's so much anticipation. This Lisandro Martinez comeback is going to hit hard after the international break. He'll single-handedly make us EPL title favorites. Bookmark this. And it makes sense. Amorim's system relies heavily on the first phase being clean. The backline must step high, defend space, and play through pressure. Martinez is the one defender who naturally does all three. His aggression sets the tempo, his leadership settles the line, his passing helps United bypass presses that usually trap them. This isn't just a player returning from injury, this is United recovering the defender who raised the standard of the entire backline the moment he arrived from Ajax. Even if it takes time for him to reach full sharpness, his presence alone changes the way United defend, build, and compete. And for every Premier League attacker who enjoyed facing a United defense missing its most intense competitor, that comfort is just about over. This is why the Premier League should be terrified of Lisandro Martinez's return.
In just the last few seconds, Manchester United have announced that Lisandro Martinez has completed his transfer from Ajax.
When Manchester United agreed a deal worth nearly £49 million plus add-ons for Lisandro Martinez in July 2022, the Premier League's reaction was predictable. Too short, too risky, too aggressive for England, but Erik Ten Hag knew exactly what he was buying. The defender who had averaged more passes per 90 than any player in the Eredivisie, who had won Ajax's Player of the Year, and who had a mentality Ajax scouts called tough as nails. Martinez arrived officially on 27th July 2022, took Pogba's old number 6 shirt and jumped straight into the lineup. His debut was a shaky defeat to Brighton, but what came next justified the price tag. Against Liverpool and Southampton, Martinez won over 80% of his duels, completed 90% plus of his passes, and produced the most recoveries in the squad across those games. He won United's August Player of the Month just weeks into his Premier League career. He scored his first goal at Arsenal in January 2023, then lifted his first United trophy a month later, the 2023 EFL Cup, forming a partnership with Raphael Varane that dropped United's goals conceded rate to 0.9 per game with him, compared to 1.7 without him. But then came the injuries. April 2023, fractured metatarsal versus Sevilla, season over. September 2023, re-injury of the same foot. 4 months out, February 2024, MCL injury versus West Ham, another major setback. Still, he returned in May 2024 to help win the FA Cup final against Manchester City, completing 94% of his passes, the best among United defenders that day. The timeline then shifted dramatically. In summer 2024, Rúben Amorim arrived as Manchester United's new manager, a coach who demands aggressive pressing, organized build-up, and defenders comfortable operating in big spaces. In other words, a system almost designed for for Lisandro Martinez, but Amorim inherited a united squad without him. Martinez had played just a fraction of the previous year due to injury, meaning Amorim's entire first season was built around replacements. Shaw at LCB, Yoro adapting, Maguire stepping up in certain spells, and De Ligt joining later to stabilize the line. What Amorim never got though was his ideal defender. Then came early 2025, a glimpse of hope. 5 January 2025, Martinez scored at Anfield, becoming the first United player to score there since Lingard in 2018, ending a 5-match drought 3 weeks later. Another crucial goal secured a win over Fulham. But on the 2nd of February 2025, Crystal Palace away, an ACL injury ended his season again. With Martinez since 2022, United's win percentage rises by nearly 20%. Goals conceded drop by almost 0.8 per game. Ball progression up the left increases by 35%, and press success rate improves because the first phase becomes safer. This is the foundation he laid under Ten Hag. This is the hole his absence created under Amorim, and this is the player United are finally getting back. When Ruben Amorim arrived in 2024, his vision for Manchester United was clear. A high defensive line, aggressive pressing, controlled build-up, and center backs who can defend space the size of a small country. And for most of the season, he had to build that system without the one defender who fits that description perfectly. Lisandro Martinez isn't just another left-sided center back. He's the one who allows Amorim's entire structure to function the way it's designed. Let's take it piece by piece. One of the biggest weaknesses in United's early season performances came from their inability to escape pressure cleanly. Without Martinez, United's press resistance dropped significantly. With him last season, United completed 72% of their passes under pressure. Without him, that fell to 58%. The lowest among the top 8 Premier League sides. It's not just the pass accuracy, it's the calmness. He doesn't clear the ball for the sake of it. He finds midfielders, he breaks lines, he switches play with his left foot. Amorim's system depends on that. United become harder to trap, harder to press, and harder to disrupt, all because one defender is comfortable being the first point of composure. Individually, United's defenders have performed well this season. De Ligt, 80% aerial duel win rate. Shaw, 91% pass accuracy and good on the ball, but not a natural center back. Maguire, among the top United defenders for aerial duel blocks and goals. Yoro, good on the for blocks and clearances. But as a unit, something has always been missing: balance. Martinez fixes that instantly. He is the left-footed defender who allows De Ligt to stay on his natural side. He covers aggressively, so De Ligt doesn't have to step out constantly. He wins second balls, so United don't get stuck defending deep for too long. With him, the partnership becomes one elite ball winner, Martinez, one elite aerial presence and organizer, De Ligt. This balance makes United's backline more layered and more unpredictable. Under Amorim, United defend from the front, but a pressing team is only as strong as its ability to recover shape when the press breaks. Here's where Martinez is the difference. Last season, when he started, United recovered the ball within 8 seconds of losing it on average. Without him, that jumps to 12 seconds. A huge gap in a high-pressing setup. His aggression in duels, his timing of interceptions, and his willingness to step into midfield allow United to sustain pressure and trap opponents in their own half. Without him, United often fall back into a deeper block. With him, they stay on the front foot. One of Amorim's biggest concerns this season has been the space behind Dorgu or Shaw on the left flank. Opponents understand that side is easier to attack without Martinez covering it. When he plays, United concede 40% fewer entries down their left channel. Opponents attempt fewer diagonal switches into that space. The midfield has more freedom to advance, knowing the cover is solid behind them. His reading of danger isn't loud or flashy, it's just effective. United's defensive line looks calmer with him, more confident, more vocal. You can feel it in the way he marshals Yoro during transitions, or how he encourages De Ligt to step higher. Even the midfield benefits because Casemiro or Mainu receives passes in cleaner positions. Rúben Amorim placing him in the 6-man leadership group despite him barely playing tells you everything. He's not just a defender, he's a standard setter. With Martinez, United's fullbacks push higher. The midfield rotates more aggressively. The wingers press with confidence, knowing counters will be handled. Last season, with him, United averaged 57% possession. Without him, 49%. It's simple. When he plays, United United are braver, not reckless, just brave with the ball and organized without it. United have improved under Amorim, yes, but they've been improving without their most complete defender, the one who complements their best center back, anchors their build-up, and elevates the confidence of the entire team. This is why his return is not just exciting, it's transformational. When people talk about Lisandro Martinez, they always start with the tackles, the aggression, the duels, but the real impact he has on Manchester United goes far beyond the defensive actions you see on camera. His influence is psychological, structural, emotional, and it's something you can feel the moment he steps onto a pitch. Or even into a dressing room, Martinez didn't become Ajax Player of the Year by being more talented than everyone else. He won it because of his mentality, a relentlessness that teammates call contagious. At Ajax, he trained like every session was a cup final. At Manchester United, he brought the same edge. Coaches have said he reacts the same way whether he wins a duel in training or in a derby. With total intensity, he does not accept half effort. He does not accept softness. And he does not accept teammates hiding in a dressing room still rebuilding its identity after years of inconsistency. That mentality matters. It's why multiple managers, Ten Hag before, Amorim now, trust him not just as a defender, but as a tone setter. You can see the difference in players who had partnered with him. Rafael Varane looked calmer and more commanding when paired with him. De Ligt shifts into a more natural rhythm when Martinez handles the aggressive side of defending Euro. Still adapting to English football, gets constant communication beside him. Pointing, guiding, instructing. Even the midfield, Casemiro, Mainu, Amrabat of then United, receives the ball cleaner because Martinez breaks the press for them. In those seasons he played and was fit, United conceded 40% fewer defensive errors when Martinez was on the pitch. That's not because he does everything himself, it's because he elevates everyone else. Leadership is not always shouting. Sometimes it's holding your line. Sometimes it's stepping forward at the right moment so others trust the shape around them. Martinez does both. One of Ruben Amorim's first decisions was to create a six-man leadership core, a group responsible for standards, communication, and emotional balance. Despite his injuries, Martinez was included immediately. That tells you everything. A player who barely played for most of the year, a player recovering from 2 major injuries, still chosen as one of the emotional pillars of the squad, because leadership isn't measured in minutes played, it's measured in respect, influence, presence, and Martinez has all three. He sits in meetings, contributes to tactical discussions, supports younger players, and even stays behind after his own rehab sessions to watch training. Something Amorim highlighted publicly as a sign of how much he cares. Footballers feel energy, and they feel when a teammate brings something they lack. With Martinez around, the mood shifts. Teammates often say he brings bite to the group, not aggression for the sake of it, but purpose. Players joke less in defensive meetings when he's present. Training intensity rises. There is accountability, and when he speaks, players listen. He's the kind of defender who makes even attackers train harder because nobody wants to be embarrassed by him. Under Amorim, with a younger squad, this presence isn't just useful, it's necessary. This is the part fans sometimes overlook. Martinez is not reckless, but he is built differently. In January 2025, just before scoring at Anfield, he was still managing discomfort from the previous month. He still played, he still delivered, and he still scored the goal that finally broke United's 5-match scoring drought at Anfield. In the FA Cup final in 2024, he was nowhere near 100% fit, but his passing, 94% completion, highest among United's defenders, showed why he insisted on being available. He fights duels he has no right to win. He challenges attackers twice his size. He sets the defensive standard with his body language alone. Not reckless, just responsible. In the way great leaders are, Lisandro Martinez doesn't just defend, he directs, he inspires, he demands, he leads. And this, the mentality, the fear factor, the standard setting, is what Manchester United have been missing for 9 long months. Lisandro Martinez isn't just a defender returning from injury. He's a structural upgrade, a shift in personality, a change in the way Manchester United behave with and without the ball. When he steps back into the lineup, the team immediately becomes harder to press, harder to dominate, and much harder to intimidate. United's buildup has been unstable without him. The numbers make that clear. Last season with Martinez in the lineup, United averaged 8.3 successful line-breaking passes per game from LCB, the highest in the squad. Without him, that number dropped by almost half. Opponents could push higher, trap United's midfield, and force long balls from uncomfortable angles. Martinez changes that instantly. He carries the ball forward with purpose, breaks the first line of pressure, and forces opponents to retreat. When he steps out of defense, United move up as a unit. When he wins his duels, which he does consistently, averaging 65 to 70% defensive duel success at Ajax. And in his first United season, the whole team grows in confidence. Opponents can bully a backline missing its emotional anchor. They cannot bully one that has Martinez at its heart. The Premier League's best teams all build pressure the same way. High press, trap the left side, force mistakes, punish transitions. Martinez disrupts that entire blueprint. Liverpool can't overload the left because he welcomes chaos. He dominated at Anfield last season and even scored. Arsenal rely on isolating center backs and forcing them into wide channels. Martinez is one of the few defenders comfortable defending there because of his acceleration and timing. Manchester City often target United's left side because it's usually the weakest build-up zone. With Martinez there, that zone becomes United's safest. Chelsea, under their fast, aggressive press, forced defenders to panic. Martinez doesn't panic. He uses pressure against them and finds the spare man. His presence forces these teams to respect United differently. When one player changes how the best teams prepare, that's not hype. That's influence. The latest updates from club sources and Argentine journalists indicate that Martinez is already medically cleared or close to it, expected to return to full team training after the international break, likely to be available for selection toward the end of the month. Crystal Palace, West Ham, and Wolves are the matches most realistic for his reintegration. Not rushed, not forced, slow steps, just like his rehab. But the finish line is finally here. United have improved under Amorim, but the team still feels incomplete without its most assertive defender. Martinez gives the side something statistics can't fully capture: identity. With him, United's structure becomes sharper. The first pass into midfield becomes cleaner. The press becomes coordinated. The backline stops retreating and starts advancing. Younger players look more confident. The stadium grows louder. The team plays with conviction instead of hesitation. Martinez raises the floor and the ceiling at the same time. He brings aggression, leadership, tempo, clarity, and a level of bravery that spreads across the pitch. His return doesn't fix every issue overnight, but it changes the trajectory. Manchester United become a team opponents no longer enjoy playing against, a team with bite, a team with personality, a team that looks finally like it believes in itself. That's what Lisandro Martinez brings back with him, and that's why the Premier League should be paying attention.